So today we're going to be looking at how to deal with T-junctions. Now this can be applicable to Ready or Not, or Door Kickers 2, or any other game that you might be playing. So with that said, this is a T-junction. All of these are T-junctions. They have small variations, but every small variation creates a large amount of variables that you have to deal with. Surprisingly, you wouldn't think that this one would be very complicated, but this one is insanely difficult, especially with a team of two. And realistically, the purpose of this video is that we are trying to remove any luck from these strategies. So we're not going to be like, oh, that one worked that time, so that means it must be good. No, we're looking at consistency of strategy. We're not looking to have just luck-based strategies. We want strategies that are consistent and that will perform consistently throughout, and the best tactics to deal with these issues. And looking at the complexities, as there are quite a bit, even with these very simple different T-junctions. There are not too many here. I have 9 T-junctions here. I'm sure there's tons more with different door positions and windows and angles, all of those things. So moving on. Hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about T-junctions. Now, what is a T-junction? Now, I'm going to be labeling anything a T-junction where there is 2 equal or unequal sides, essentially making a capital T. So capital T here, same thing. Basically where you are facing either 2 doors, 2 entrances, very close in proximity to each other from one angle and another angle, usually directly opposing each other. Obviously, for something like this, it's not exactly the same, but it's very similar in terms of its general shape. Obviously, there can be different forms of T-junctions, but these are, in principle, generally going to be operated in very similar ways, but there are obviously nuances when it comes to it, which I'm going to be showing you today. So first off is just a regular T-junction with a tight, narrow passage. So there's a couple ways to deal with this. The first way is to, whenever you are approaching it, cross coverage is the first thing that you should know. It just means moving up in tandem with your teammate. In principle, I'm going to show just in pairs of 2 and then teams of 4 for the more challenging areas like this. A lot of this you shouldn't be doing with a team of 2. These ones are acceptable and doable, but when you get to the later levels where there are more enemies, and this is to clarify, this is very applicable in something like Ready or Not, and among a lot of other games that exist out there as well. These are just general tactics, and you can apply them accordingly. So first, we move up in tandem. So we're going to move up at the same time, cross coverage, which just means we're going to be covering you here and covering you here, creating a cross, and you're covering them. So that's why I call it cross coverage. So once we reach this point, this is where it gets difficult because there is the unknown here and on the opposite side over here. Now, if there's an enemy here and an enemy here, you have no choice but to expose yourself to both of them. They're both going to see you and they're both going to shoot at you. Now, there's a couple things you can do. Once you've reached this area, you can target the area with 2 people and push in like this, moving in and taking the room. Now, this has its advantages, but let's see how this goes. And by the way, these are very highly trained enemies. They have a lot of resistance to stun and being flashbanged, so if they're not as effective, at least in this game. I'm just showing it because they have faster reaction time to illustrate what works, what doesn't. So we're going to move in tandem together, and it was pretty good. We have the jump on them. They didn't see us first. So we saw them. A little bit of an advantage. But there can be issues with this one. If one target, one of your team engages multiple targets instead of just one, this target can die, or that your teammate can die, and then obviously you're going to die because maybe you only dealt with one. That's where this risk comes in where you're exposing yourself and you don't have a way to retreat. But it is a very effective way to take out a single opponent, especially in a corner with no flashbangs or whatever. So let's try another variation. So same thing as before. We're going to get cross coverage up until the threshold becomes unsafe. Now, there's a couple things you can do here. There is a thing where, depending on the game you're playing, you can bait them in, spot, peek yourself out, come out, and maybe even kill them. And then you just fall back. That way, you have the advantage, and they come to you. And whichever way you are clearing initially, you can visually see what's going on, see if there's an enemy. If there isn't, awesome. If there is, either kill him or retreat, and hopefully they will come and chase you. Now, obviously, this guy chased me, and it's not always going to be the case, but you did get a valuable piece of information that you killed a target. Now you only have to deal with one target. So now that you have two teammates, you have a total of two people engaging a area, it's going to be much better. And remember, this is without any flashbangs or stingers or whatever. But you're just going to do the same thing. You're going to move in and move in. Here you're going to be posted up on the corner. And then this person is going to be going out and taking, oops, make sure you're targeting that. Let's pretend I didn't do that. Coming out here like this and engaging the target. So here's another thing. Obviously, if you're using flashbangs, you can do flash here, flash there. So you do flash, it pops, you come around the corner and you engage. That's another basic one, but obviously it costs resources to use. Let's say if you want to minimize resource cost, you can throw one instead. And that way, I'm going to throw it. Now, there's a couple of things that you can do here, okay? In Ready or Not, targets will be stunned for a good duration of time. You have enough time to come around this corner with two people, kill that target, and then turn around and then kill the stun target. Generally speaking, that's an acceptable thing to do. In this game, especially since this enemy that I'm throwing a flashbang at has very high recovery rate, so he's not stunned for very long, generally speaking. This is going to be a little bit different, and I might lose here to illustrate this point, but that's the way the game works here. So we're going to, I kind of jumped the gun there. Hold on.
Holding.
Oopsie. Okay, so I went on the corner with this guy who's a little chaotic. And then you would turn around, he's stunned, and then you can engage him. So you engage the stun target last to deal with the threat. So for another one, when we are cross-covering, same thing. Now, there is a thing you can do. Let's just do this. I'm just going to do this solo real quick. And make sure you do it from a distance so your weapon doesn't collapse, because obviously you're close to let's say if you're looking at a wall, you obviously drop your weapon. So you have to, it takes time for your weapon to return to firing position. Same thing in Ready or Not. So just be aware of this. But anyway, what we're going to do here is we're going to take the corner wide. We're going to just peek enough, see a target, maybe shoot them, see what's going on, and then back off to engage this corner. Maybe he comes up. If he doesn't, we're just going to do the same thing. Take the corner wide, get away from this wall, take the corner wide. You're going to peek in the unknown, engage whatever target is left, and that would be that. Obviously, you can do this with one person, and that's usually how you would do it single. With a second person, they kind of get in the way. You don't really want to do it this way because they don't have a way to retreat. And it's just, you give the single person more operating room. All right, that's it for the episode. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.